いつがカイドウ。
Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 20 hardest to kill anime characters.
またもこの私の体を。本当に素晴らしい。だが私は醜いこの魔法が嫌いでね。
For this list, we'll be looking at the most powerful heroes and villains in anime that just won't stay down. Number 20, Oken, Ranking of Kings. In this case, Oken's immortality looks a lot more like invincibility. He was blessed with a regenerating body at 25 years old, and since then, no one has figured out a way to keep him down.
苦しむ様を眺めてやがる。変態め。
They've tried it all, separating his limbs, striking his weak points, and even banishing him to the underworld. If a forced sabbatical to the afterlife can't keep Oken dead, it's hard to say what can. Really, the only solution left is to try and delay his comeback for as long as possible. But that's just a band-aid fix. As it stands, Oken's reign is more a matter of when, not if.
オーケンは不死身だ。
不死身？死なないってことか？
奴を倒す方法などない。そう伝えた方がいいぞ。
Number 19, Kei Nagai, Ajin, Demihuman. For most people, getting struck by a speeding bus would mean lights out. For Kei, it's just a Tuesday. As a nefarious Ajin, he's completely impervious to any kind of fatal wound.
Ajin in sight, requesting backup. Hey, wait! Stop!
That's not for lack of trying either, but no matter what the shady government throws at him, Kei's body bounces back good as new. Even enemy Ajin can only hope to fight him to a standstill. Apparently, there's only one surefire way to get rid of someone like Kei, and that's to wait around for the end of his human lifespan. Fingers crossed he doesn't go full villain on humanity before then.
I didn't do anything wrong. Just die. All of you. Just die.
Number 18, All for One, My Hero Academia. There's not a prison in the world that can hold this supervillain. Eternal life, innate brilliance, super strength. Honestly, it's probably quicker to list the quirks All for One doesn't have.
確実に殺すために今の僕が掛け合わせられる最高最適の個性たちで君を殴る
To put it into perspective, it took everything All Might had just to knock him out. A death sentence is completely out of the question, and not just because of the immortality. Given All for One's bank of stolen quirks, it's hard to think of anyone who could execute him even if he was still human.
いいや、出られないんだよ。
そういうことにしておこう。
Oh, and did we mention he can also pass on his skills? With that up his sleeve, All for One's legacy will truly outlive us all. Number 17, Dante Socrates, Black Clover.
しょうがない。君には特別に見せてあげるよ、闇助ヒロ。悪魔を宿した人間の本当の力を。
Turns out making a deal with the devil has its upsides. Like, say, gaining the strength to single-handedly take on the entire Black Bulls Guild. To really rub it in, Dante spends most of this fight just showing off. Asta counters, then Finral joins, and then Yami does it too. But they all end up decorating the ground just the same. Since Dante can also repair his wounds at will, the Black Bull's ultimate attacks aren't even worth a scar on his body.
もっとだ。もっと楽しませる。その全てが私の閲楽のための供物だ。
Mind you, most of this is at half power. After Dante unleashed Lucifero's full might, it's a miracle the Black Bulls had any base left to protect at all. Number 16, Naraku, Inuyasha. No matter if you're an all-powerful half-demon or not, there's only so much that a single body can withstand. Multiple bodies though? That's a different story.
But until you defeat me, I control this place.
That's enough of your lies!
Naraku's ace in the hole is that he's fused with so many different demons, he's pretty much a one-man army. Since he can manifest the powers of any being he's absorbed, Naraku is a nigh unbeatable foe on the battlefield, and that's without even mentioning his healing abilities.
Enough of my body still remains. Enough to wipe out a single village at least.
Let's just say that you can try to take his head off, but it won't do you much good. With strength like this, it makes you wonder why Naraku even needs the Shikon Jewel in the first place. Number 15. Manji, Blade of the Immortal. To atone for his bloody sins, this swordsman is tasked with taking the lives of 1,000 evil men. It sounds difficult until you realize this is Manji we're talking about. Give him a sword and he can carve up anyone like a Thanksgiving turkey. But to really buff him up, he's also given a colony of sacred bloodworms that can heal any injury under the sun, including a hole in the brain. In fact, outside of fulfilling his quest, not even Manji himself knows how he could die. Evidently, the only way to beat Manji in a fight is to stay off his hit list altogether. Number 14. Muzan Kibutsuji, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
大丈夫だよ。
こいつ
安心なさい。
こいつ人間のふりをして暮らしているんだ。
Despite their physical abilities, there's always two foolproof ways to kill a demon, either chop off their heads or shove them into the sunlight. But when the monster in question is the progenitor of all demonkind, that's easier said than done. Muzan's strength is simply unparalleled, even by demon standards. Look no further than his massacre of the lower ranks.
お前は私に指図した。死に値する。
If you somehow manage to land a hit, and that's a big if, he's said to regenerate so quickly, it's like he wasn't hurt at all. That begs the question, how do you kill a demon that nullifies damage? Well, the short answer is, you don't. Number 13, Fushi, To Your Eternity.
それは初め9だった。
Before he had a proper name, Fushi was simply a white orb sent to Earth to learn about humanity. But as he slowly evolved over the years, one thing became very clear: Fushi can't really die. Anytime he sustains a lethal blow, he simply revives in a different form, usually with new adaptations to whatever killed him.
彼は神なのか魔物なのか。
さあ、しかし私はこう思います。彼の力は未知数ですが。
It doesn't take very long either. By now, Fushi's respawn rate is down to mere seconds. Even if he were to run out of reincarnations, he'd simply revert back to his original orb-like appearance. To put it bluntly, Fushi can't die because he was never mortal to begin with. Number 12. Kaido, One Piece. The Governor General of the Beast Pirates has the highest known bounty of any currently living fugitive, and that's for a very good reason. Sure, Kaido isn't technically immortal, but with defenses like his, he might as well be.
こいつは気絶してなお。俺を睨み続けてやがる。
Plus, he's got the brawn to back it up. Whether it's an army, a general, or Luffy himself, it is very difficult to take on Kaido in a fight. Allegedly, the so-called strongest creature of One Piece has been sentenced to death over 40 times, but since he's still demolishing rebels to this day, you can guess how all those went.
何の王になるだと？小僧。
Oh, and don't even get us started on his dragon form. Number 11, Alucard, Hellsing, and Hellsing Ultimate. It'll take more than a stake to the heart to put this vampire in a coffin. See, Alucard is more than an undead bodyguard. He's a walking weapon of destruction, and a very effective one at that. Having been around for a few centuries, he has incredible strength, speed, and knowledge. But he doesn't need any of that, since he can just regenerate from most attacks anyway.
化け物を倒すのはいつだって人間だ。
Keep in mind, Alucard needs limiters to keep his power in check, and he's still untouchable. If his gory track record is any indication, Alucard may very well be the most powerful vampire alive, or undead, depending on how you look at it. Number 10, C2, Code Geass.
He mustn't die!
You shot her!
When we first met this green-haired beauty, she was shot in the damn back, only to get back up again in a couple of minutes.
I'm back.
Welcome home, Lelouch.
As it happens, this so-called witch has been alive for numerous centuries, meeting thousands of grisly deaths along the way, but managing to come back from them all, forever sowing the seeds of rebellion in times of crisis. Her latest conquest was, of course, Lelouch v Britannia, the man who would go on to become the masked symbol known as Zero. Well worth it, love.
When somebody wins, the fighting will end.
Somebody?
Number 9, Meaty, Maiden Abyss. We have never wanted a poor and innocent blob to die so much in our lives, if only for her to finally be at peace after suffering such overwhelming hardships.
少々形がいびつになる程度で済んでいます。
An orphan girl turned experiment, Meaty's exposure to the curse of the abyss melted her into a creature that could suffer endless amounts of trauma and yet still go on living. Desperate for her to save her friend from her immortal prison, Nanachi finally found a solution in the form of Reg and his incinerator. While we're happy Meaty is no longer bound to such a painful form, seeing her reduced to ashes is hardly a comforting sight. Number 8, Ash Ketchum, Pokemon.
Oh! We're down there!
Pika Pika!
What's going on?
Pikachu!
You're saying we're alike now?
You know, the idea of letting your 10-year-old kid go out alone on an adventure sounds like bad parenting, but clearly Miss Delia Ketchum knew something we didn't about Ash's stubborn ties to his corporeal form. Yes, this aspiring Pokemon master has eaten shit multiple times throughout the series, only to somehow come back to life just a few scenes later.
Pikachu, you can't save me. Just take care of yourself. And all the others, I'll miss you, buddy. I love you.
Even much later in the series, Ash had met his untimely end right at the beginning of his bloody adventure and rose again as if like Poke Jesus.
Pikachu.
Number 7, Koro Sensei, Assassination Classroom.
大変ですね、ターゲットだと。
いえいえ、皆から狙われるのは力を持つ者の証ですから。
Pay attention, students. Your lesson in murder is about to start. As an entity strong enough to fly at Mach 20 and allegedly blow up the moon just to prove a point, it's fair to say that Koro Sensei isn't bluffing when he said he could destroy the planet if he chose to.
Call it what you will, but when the chips are down, I will give my life to protect them!
Offering a class of rejected students the opportunity to try their luck while also acting as their teacher, this amalgamation of smiles and tentacles has shown to be such a hit with his class that when they get the chance to hit a finishing blow, they're more than a little hesitant.
Which one of us is gonna...
Number 6, Kyubei, Maroka Magica.
That's so odd. Most girls accept my offer right away.
No matter how many times you blow this little bastard to pieces, he always manages to find a way to come back. While he may look all kinds of adorable, Kyubei exists solely to track down innocent youths and trick them into signing contracts that'll turn them into magical girls, who are then destined to either die or fall so far into despair that they end up becoming terrifying monsters known as witches.
Making that happen is part of my job when I recruit magical girls. I take a person's soul from their body and turn it into a soul gem.
You bastard.
Understandably, someone like Homura might want to unload an entire clip into him for his very clear betrayal, but then he'd just come back and devour his own corpse to mock her. Aww. Number 5, Hidan, Naruto Shippuden. Faith MFer, do you speak it?
Oh, don't tell me you're gonna start now too! I'm surrounded by blasphemers and ignorant heathens.
Well, Hidan does, and his zealotry has rewarded him with an immortal body that can keep functioning even after his limbs had been severed from his torso. As a loyal servant to the sadistic deity known as Jashin, Hidan was a lethal ninja in his own right, and one of the deadlier members of the Akatsuki.
It was you! You're the slow one, Kakazu! It was on purpose, wasn't it?
He managed to ice Asuma with his blood-soaked jutsu, and even when he was eventually blown to pieces, he was still very much alive. It might have been to his detriment though, can't be fun being buried alive.
The day of retribution will come, and the way of Jashin will punish you! Yes!
Number 4, Saitama, One Punch Man.
I don't know who you are, but this is your fault! You're gonna pay!
By this point, we have no idea if there's anyone out there strong enough to actually wound this guy, let alone put him 6 feet under. As the most powerful superhero in the universe, Saitama has never failed to best any enemy with but a single punch. Meteors, giants, intergalactic conquerors, they're all reduced to a stain in the wake of his ungodly fist.
You're not gonna fall on my town!
Sure, some foes managed to get one up on Saitama and strike first, but this is the guy who brushed off being thrown into the moon. We'd say it's very unlikely he'll ever meet his maker. Even if he does, he'll probably end up punching him too.
Serious punch.
Number 3, Ban, The 7 Deadly Sins.
Sounds pretty nice.
Another day, another immortal, though in this case, it happens to be a thief who gained everlasting life thanks to drinking some magic water via the lips of a fairy queen. After losing his beloved Elaine, Ban became a member of the 7 Sins, the strongest knights in all of Britannia, where he more than lived up to his given vice of greed by stealing the lives of all who challenged him.
I wonder how much power I ended up taking. Time to find out!
Cocky and brash, with a very loud sense of fashion, Ban's immortality has only further cemented his swag. Number 2, Zamasu, Dragon Ball Super. Immortality comes somewhat naturally when you abuse the powers of the Super Dragon Balls. As an apprentice of Universe 10's Supreme Kai, Zamasu's inflated ego and hatred towards mortals led him down a vicious path, one that involved him teaming up with himself thanks to a little time travel. He may have succeeded in his plan of laying waste to humanity and even been a match for the might of Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, but not even the immortal body of a god was enough to withstand the force of Zeno. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Cars, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
この時を待って4いや5000年ついに目の当たりにするぞ
This Pillar Man's power was so overwhelming that he could fall down a mountain, take a barrage of Haman-based attacks, and even the full force of a cybernetic Nazi and still get up for a second round. Then he became the ultimate life form, and, well, let's say we reached peak bizarreness with this one.
地球は生命を作り出した。しかし、なんとついにカズはその地球をも克服してしまった。
Able to control all life on the planet and even withstand diving into an active volcano, the only reason Joseph Joestar managed to win the day was down to sheer dumb luck, as well as the fact not even the mind of someone like Kaz can handle the vacuum of space. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.